What's happening, y'all? What's going on? This is Ashley, host of the Systems Lab Live, and we are here. It is Wednesday, not a Monday. It is Wednesday, October the 4th. This is the first live stream of the month. Okay? First live stream of October of Q4. Welcome to the Wild Card Season 2. I'm excited because we're going to talk about all things productivity, structuring your day, as that's the theme of today's live stream, how to do the work. This is going to be fun. So, listen. For those of you who are here for it the very first time, welcome to the Systems Lab Live. This is the only live stream for project managers, project leaders, those that are doing the day-to-day work. We talk about managing projects, leading teams, and developing processes. We bridge the gap between people, technology, and operations. And so I'm pleased to announce the theme of this month. It's the wild card season. Which we are talking about all things productivity, as people say, productivity. All things productivity and everything in between. And so I'm excited about this particular wild card season because as many people are winding down the fourth quarter, the end of 2023, some may say, how did we get here? And I can't tell you why, but I'll just ask that question. And many people are like literally taken off. They're like, I'm out. Q4 or Q1, hey, hello vacation 2023. It's been great. So I'm going to just take off. Some of you all are revving up, right? But whatever it is, I don't think that it is a inopportune time to press in on all things productivity, time management, managing the work, the day-to-day work, and everything in between. So I'm excited because we are diving into a great topic called how to structure your day. I have some more videos to put out this week that kind of focus in on this aspect of structuring your day. And so we're going to go over a few concepts that we're going to do in just a moment. But I did want to start to walk through an article I found to be very interesting on design thinking and project management. But before we begin, please put in, y'all, please put in where you're from, what you're up to, projects that you're working on. Okay? As we begin to dive in and talk about what's the what, I'm excited. I'm very excited talking about how to structure our day. I'm going to be talking about things like eliminating meetings and blocking out your calendar and using your project management tool to focus on key priorities. So it's gonna be good, y'all. So let's look at what's the what. Who's here? Oh, Dr. Asia Lyons, Denver, coaching and curriculum development. You know we need you, Dr. Asia. Are you developing any current curriculum or coaching anyone right now? I'd love to know that. On the screen, you will see an opportunity to be a part of this movement. Let's talk about a good movement. Here we are talking about everyday work. Shout out to Mark. Thank you so much, Mark, is in the building. And Dr. Asia, thank you so much. Text PM Huddle to 626-722-5444. Once a week text commitment, people. Not a full-blown 3 or 4 times a day, 5 days a week. Just one text message, a pro tip of the week, something for you to think on and chew on. Okay, Dr. H has said she is developing more curriculum. I think, this aspect of the coaching and putting together programs, I am fascinated by how people put together their coaching programs, because I like, the people who understand like curriculum development. Those are the people I'm tapped into. There's like one other person. No, there's probably two other people that I've really been fascinated by. They're both coaches in the online industry, but really good at what they do. Understand this aspect of curriculum development. And as I dive into that more in 2024 and the coaching aspect, yeah, I'm excited to get I guess, my own curriculum developed, and then, and maybe teaming up with somebody that can really help me see about what this curriculum development looks like. But I love it. It's necessary. Um, Other announcements that I have. Okay, got the text community group going. Let's see. We have a PM monthly huddle. Yeah, PM monthly exchange. I'm mixing up my words. The PM monthly exchange, which will be held on. Hold on. So I don't think I have my dates right, because it's not a consistent date per month, but it is October. I think we're talking about all things productivity in this behind the scenes exchange. Um okay, no, we're definitely not talking about getting better with time. That's what it is. It's called Getting Better with Time. And so yes, we are going to be talking about time management. Oh, that's going to be good. That's going to be really, really, really good. Can I edit this event? That's what it is. Getting better with time. Last month was content workflows. Getting better with time. That was last week. Okay. Yeah, we're talking about. Let me update this event so it looks right. Okay, perfect. Getting better with time. That is exactly what it is called. Getting better with time. Um, ooh, let me see if I can put the link in here. If you text it, you'll get it that way as well. Um, Dr. Asia says she used to be an educator, so I just write curriculum for youth programs. Boom! That's exciting. That is just exciting, exciting work. That's exciting work. Okay, I think this should be it. Is this it? Okay. Okay, I think this is it. Here we go. Okay, am I in the right thing? Let me get back to the comments. Okay. Yeah, PM exchange monthly meetup for those that manage the projects, lead the projects, do the projects, execute them. So we have OBMs, project managers, people from different industries that come out, and we just have a good old time. I talk a little, teach a little, but then I also open the floor up for us to exchange. That's why it's an exchange information. So it's good. It's a good time. It's a way for us to skill up, and I think getting better with time and time management. It's always a treat. How do we manage the time? Um, Good. I'm glad we are having this conversation. For those of you that are joining us on Instagram, welcome. We again are live from YouTube, LinkedIn Live, and Instagram. So, as we said today, we're going to be talking about how to structure your day. But before that, I want to walk through the digitalprojectmanager.com had a really cool article on design thinking and project management. Why and how you should do it. A great article that is out there now, and I'm trying to think, when did they have it? Because I usually September. This was updated on September 11th, so just last month. What is design thinking? Why do you think we're talking about this today? Right? I think this is what the conclusion that I've come to. Okay, you know that saying, nothing new is under the sun, but I just want to pull it into focus. What we're doing right now in the here and the now, when it comes to this work that we're doing, we're talking about the managing of work, the leading of teams, the developing of processes. We are in this digital revolution right now. Digital project management, the project economy. We're going to be talking about that more in the coming weeks. The project economy, because of the space that we're in. Now more than ever, there are different ways in which that we do this work. And so design thinking is one of them. I use design thinking in my work. Oh, so Dr. Asia is going to help us out today. I'm excited about this. Design thinking. This is something that is newer to me. I've heard of it, but I haven't heard of it in the context of project management. So when we're talking about design thinking, this is the definition that's been given. It's a problem-solving approach that emphasizes understanding and empathizing with users to create innovative solutions. It encourages a human-centered mindset that fosters collaboration and experimentation. So I think a few things are true about this. This is what the design thinking breaks down. Problem-solving approach that emphasizes and understanding and empathizing with users. So it's empathy, problem solving, and we merge that to create innovative solutions. It is human-centered and fosters collaboration and experimentation. Now, why I think this is instrumental in the project management work, the everyday work, because now more than ever, we've gone from, that the sequential waterfall style, even though waterfall is still relevant. I'm not saying you throw it out, but I feel pre-pandemic vibes, we were definitely in a place and space, a little more traditional, a little more, here's step 1, step 2, step 3. Okay. I think now, fast forward March 2020 till now, the landscape has changed. I always say this is that this aspect of a people-centered approach to project management work is required and necessary. Okay? People make the projects. They lead them. They create them. People are at the center of the process. Okay? And we're solving projects for people. So this design thinking approach, I love it. Human-centered mindset, fostering collaboration, creating the innovative solutions. So when we talk about the project strategy, okay, when we're talking about that, when we talk about my 9-point PM roadmap, one of the things I say in that first phase is, how are we designing the project strategy? What does that look like? What does that look like? I love project strategy because what we're doing is not just slapping a template on. Hello, template community. We love you. We load you up when we need it, when we need you. But when we talk about designing the project and we talk about the strategy and the approach, because it's in this day and age that we are creating, that we are launching, that we are creating the things, the products, the services, the events, the communities, and everything in between. Okay. And so that doesn't mean that, you can't use a waterfall approach and, oh, that's bad. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that I think it's upon us, project leaders, the builders, as I like to call. I started calling myself that, a builder of things. That's what I see myself as, a strategist, because many of you know that you don't have to have the title of project manager to be a project manager. Okay? It's infused everywhere. So when we think about project management, when it's applied to, when design thinking is applied to it, we are adding a fresh perspective and tackling complex challenges effectively. So in project management, design thinking does what? Dr. Asia, help us out. What does it do? Talk to us in the comments if you can. Design thinking starts by clearly defining the problem and understanding the needs and goals of stakeholders. This, my friends, when we're talking about the big idea that's being introduced, and you are the point person to carry it out, design thinking would say, "Oh, I love this. So let's sit down and let's talk about it some more." Huh? Let's talk about it some more. Let's talk about the need and the goal and why this should happen and when it should happen. Hello, somebody. I'm excited. What does this do? Good, great people. What does this do? Oh, we're plugging in empathy, active listening when we sit down and we start to really examine why we're doing what we're doing. And I did a whole month live stream on that. Basically breaking down, should you even do the project? How you go about evaluating if it can and should be done. Make sense? Who's with me? Who's with me? I thank you all for joining. I thank you all for joining. I thank you all for joining. Okay. So what's next? Design thinking also promotes ideation and brainstorming sessions to generate a wide range of creative ideas. So, this is good. Why? Why is this good? Because sometimes you do need to kind of sit back and start to think to yourself, self, let's make sure that we're evaluating all of the ideas and we're brainstorming appropriately. Okay? I think that's a good thing. I just think that is a good thing that we all can just sit down and just, as what is it, James Brown said, and have a funky good time. Okay? That's what he said. He says, "I'm gonna have a what? Funky good time. What? Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da." I love that. Gonna have a what? We're gonna have a. I just love it. I just wanted to sing a little bit. All right. So there's 6 benefits of design thinking and project management. The 6 are user-centric solutions, enhanced creativity, iterative refinement, collaboration, diversity, agile adaptability, and innovation catalyst. So we're going to go over the first 2, and then we're going to go and do our thing. And because we can do our thing, we are going to go and talk about the topic of the day. The topic of the day. Okay. So let's talk about it, folks. Let's talk about the first 2, user centric solutions and enhanced creativity. Okay. I like this because we're really talking about mm, the people. Okay. That's what we're really talking about. We're talking about the people. I think, and listen, and I just think that it is very important that when we're in this design thinking um, perspective, that user-centric solutions places the solution of the project at the center. Excuse me, sorry, the user at the center. That's what I meant to say. The user at the center. Okay? So when we think about launching our services, our products, or even our events, user needs, desires, pain points, right? This might be a good old time to what's the user stories. That might be a opportunity. Great opportunity to do what? Create some user stories. Hmm? That's what I'm thinking, people. I'm kind of loving that. I am kind of loving all of that. Okay. I'm glad we're diving into this because I think this is just instrumental. Okay. So, what this does really is that because we're placing the user at the center, its desires and needs, and we can also develop user stories, that means that the actual deliverable of what we're creating has the user in mind, which means that we can successfully, in theory, successfully create something that the user, our client, our community members want to see. Questions, comments as we put a little pulse check, huh? What y'all think? Mm-mm-mm. What y'all think? Anybody? Maybe that's y'all somebody. Sounds good, y'all? How's that sound? All right. We gonna keep it pushing though. We gonna keep it pushing. We gonna keep it pushing though. Okay. So that's the user-centric solutions. Secondly, enhance creativity. Because how many of us have been on projects and said, this is kind of boring? Did that? Did that? I mean, it's real, right? Like, we're like, oh no, this ain't this ain't the slam dunk. This ain't the slam dunk. But we just go through and we just muster through. What's going on, Atif? Great to see you. We're talking about design thinking in project management. And then we're talking about how to structure your day. So thank you for just stopping by. I appreciate you greatly. So, okay. So this is it, folks. Okay. Utilizing creativity in the project itself, exploring different perspectives, breaking free of the conventional aspect. But don't just run with the creativity. Make sure it's centered on the particular program goals, project goals, and objectives that you are seeking. We'll put a pin in this and we will talk about iterative refinement and collaboration and diversity next week. But my friends, let's go and talk about how to structure your day. I got 3 points if you're taking any notes. We're going to talk about systems and routines, and then we're going to talk about calendar review and eliminating meetings, and we're going to talk about prioritization. Lot to cover, but this is honestly one of my kind of favorite pastimes, how to structure your day. The top question that I do get, which is, Ashley, how does one structure, organize my day successfully? Which, my friends, is a simple yet easy, but yet not as simple as one would think. I typically, when people ask me, Ashley, how do you best structure your day? I often ask the question, first and foremost, tell me about your working style. Is it afternoons? Is it evenings? Is it mornings? Is it late at night? Why do you think I asked that question? Anybody know? Anybody want to put anything in the chat about why would I specifically answer that or ask that question? I think it's good. I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing for us to discuss. Okay. All right. So I'll tell you why. This is what we do here, people. We want to know, or at least I want to know, how best you work. Because when we talk about the superpower work that you do, we're talking about your brain work, the thing that you're gifted in. When do you best do that? Okay. Now, when we talk about systems and routines, I also dive into when I used to do, and just a quick context thing. I used to do some really cool time management, goal setting type of sessions. So when we talk about like routines, and then we start to talk about what, working out, when you eat your meals, all these different types of things, all the different types of activities that you do have, all of that plays a role into how you are structuring your day. How do how you are structuring your day. So I think that is really, really important for us to go ahead and to underscore. Okay. So systems and routines. When do you wake up? When do you work best? What exactly is all the different areas of your life? What does that specifically look like? Okay? Now, something for you all to consider is that when we think about the systems and routines, many people think that, what's your morning routine, what's the afternoon, what's the evening routine. Now, I don't think that you necessarily have to be super, super prescriptive. Now, if it works for you, if you have to have that in order to, have a focus, on different parts of the day, great. But when we talk about what does it mean to really shape our day to be successful, we really have to identify some of our prioritization. Like what is life like now in this season? What's working for you? What's not working for you? What fills up your day? Okay? What takes you off track? Something for us to consider. Systems and routines. Some people lack having the systems and routines. I would say. I was gonna pull something up on an old school Canva presentation. I think I want to pull a couple things up, but systems and routines. The question we must ask ourselves is, do we have any? What does that mean, Ashley? Do I have any systems? Do I have a set of working procedures or steps, things that are working together to achieve something? Okay. Do we have that? You better come on, Canva, with the Meet Magic Studio AI. They're doing all the things. Can I get a little search bar? Magic Switch, Magic Design. Um. Oh, okay. Hold on. My projects. Let me do time management. Do, 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 do. So the system behind time management. Oh yeah, I did a whole presentation last week about that. Oh, we gonna do it for we gonna revisit quite a few things for the PM monthly exchange. You better come on. This was a good one too. Let's see. So this is good. We'll take from some of this as well. So we talked about systems and we talked about having routines. Okay. This, my friends, is key. Okay. One thing that I think is really good for you all to do is develop your mission statement. This really will help shape the type of systems and routines that you will establish when it comes to structuring your day. So, this is really a life hack, ladies and gentlemen. This is really a life hack. What is your personal mission statement? What are the values that you have? Do you necessarily have to have something that you recite? No, not necessarily, but you could if you wanted to. But tell me, what are the values in the comments that you have? Values that you have that resonate with you, that I believe would dictate your day, that would help support the work that you do. Talk to me about that. Okay? That's the personal statement piece. We're talking about your skills and ability, what you like to do, your personality traits, how you operate, and also what you're gifted in. Hello. Your dreams, values, and passions, why you want to excel. Does that make sense? Skills and ability, personality traits, how you operate, your dreams and your values and your passions. What is that rooted in? What is that centered in? Okay. And so when that happens, when you start to get an understanding of that, then you start to get an understanding of what my goals are: business, family, career, personal fitness goals, volunteer goals, other life goals. You start getting clarity when you have that mission statement. Y'all follow me? Definitely ask any questions and I'll answer. Okay. So we talk about systems and routines. We're not talking about in the context of solely like what's your morning routine, what's your evening routine. We're taking a step back and talking about personal mission statement. Hello, hello, hello. Personal mission statement, helping you to understand who you are, what you stand for, what values drive your day. What values? What does that mean, Ashley? You want an example? I think we should do an example. So for myself, let's talk about me, myself, and I. We talk about like what's important when I talk about the work. I was just talking with somebody about the work and doing some design work for me. And I said, one of the things that in this particular season, whether it's career, whether it's business, whether it is community work, etc., it's the work. It's really the full expression, mind, body, and soul, that is dedicated and submitted to God, to Christ, right? Let's expand upon that particular abbreviated quote by this her name is Dorothy. She's a nun. Okay. And so Dorothy Sayers is her name. She talks about the work definition, like the work quote. And so I resonated this deeply when I read this this book, and the book's name is, come on, hold on, we're gonna get into the Kindle, and in the Kindle it is Call to Create, a biblical invitation to create, innovate, and risk. Okay. So we had a really great quote from Dorothy L. Sayers, who said, work is not primarily a thing one does to live, but the thing one lives to do. It should be the full expression of the worker's faculties, in which he or she finds spiritual, mental, and bodily satisfaction as a medium in which he offers himself to God. So when I pull that out, really what that means to me is this, and I put a little, little more of the Ashley flavor in that, which means is that when we talk about the work, my work in particular, we talk about it in its totality from the perspective of it's the thing that I do that expresses who I am, what I do, why I do what I do, as a full expression unto the Lord. So that's kind of how that works. So when you have that, as you can call it a mission statement, you can call it your own sort of compass, right? Then you start to look at your particular goals and priorities. Okay. So in the season that you're in, then you start to look at personal goals, your career goals, your business goals, right? And then when you look at that, then you start to see, okay, in terms of the projects that you're working on, the projects that you have, how then that's how then you can start to see the work that needs to get done. So we'll go into more of this when we have our PM monthly exchange. We're going to go through a full thing of that. But that's a little bit about the systems and routines and how you can kind of focus in on that. Next up, the calendar review and eliminating meetings. So fast forward to having your projects in place and knowing what you're doing and when you're doing it and how you're doing it. Then you're looking at your calendar, Google Calendar, Outlook calendar, the calendar that you use. You have a couple. And you are now looking at what's necessary and what's not. But before you get into trimming the fat, so to speak, you then want to start building out a schedule that speaks to your particular values, your mission statement, the season that you are in. So that means you create what I call a fixed or flex schedule. Fixed means you're always, certain things you're going to do at certain days of the week at certain times. And then you're building out the rest of your day with the other goals and priorities and projects that you have. Does it mean that you go hour by hour and color code everything? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Because then you become the slave to the calendar, right? And you may or may not, depending on the day. And again, we're going to get into prioritization. You may also find yourself needing to work on a couple things per week or, the next few days. So, all right. With that said, we talk about the calendar prioritization. We talk about the calendar review, taking some time out. Maybe it's on Sunday. Some people I've worked with it done on a Saturday. And you start looking at what you're going to be doing for the week. You start to look at what meetings that you have, what's necessary and what's not. Then you begin to rearrange your schedule. You can add key meetings that you need to. You start to look at days of the week. That's one of the hacks in terms of how you work best. Knowing when you need to have high energy for your task or your meetings. And then as you start to work your schedule, and we go to our third point, which is on prioritization, you begin to then see and recognize a pattern of, when you want to take your last meeting of the day, when you want to take the first meeting of the day, or approach your first task or project of the day. You begin to see, depending on week to week, how long things are taking you. If there are certain days of the week that you find that work better for certain tasks and things, you start to then really see the patterns of your behavior. And especially then when you're also working with others in concert with projects and things, then you start to really align and have some synergy with people and how they work. And so as project managers, we have to start looking at a few things. Number one, we're often managing maybe multiple projects. Maybe we are also the staff person, and we are also the person that is also running the project as well. So then, we have to start looking at things in different ways. We just have to look at multiple schedules. Then we have to look at certain tasks and milestones that are due. Who do we need to pull in? We have to ask them the critical question of what's required. What's required to get this done? Because how many of us, raise our hands, have over committed, or we may have not had the best planning, and we've had to adjust when it comes to some of the tasks. We have to push things back. So thinking about how to structure your day is critical to the success of what you are working on. What's your workload and the things in the projects and initiatives that you are working on. So when we talk about structuring the day, we're talking about how do we optimize the time that we have? How do we get our best work done? How do we go and mobilize others so that they can go forth and execute and not be burnt out, as that's the buzzword, right? So that's looking at workload and resource management. And that's where, when you look at your project management tool and you look at your schedule and you're looking at what's you can see, oh wow, somebody is, it looks like they have a lot on their plate. Why is that? That's when you start looking into the dashboards that ClickUp has and other project management tools, and you can see what's behind, what's coming up. You can then see, which tasks are allocated to which members, and then you can start using the data to make the decisions about what needs to happen. And then if you need to have a meeting or a conversation, because you already have, you're starting to structure your day best, you know how and when to put meetings on the calendar, or putting reminders about how you can talk with an individual. Maybe it's more async, and maybe it's a 15-minute check-in. But all these things work together in terms of the structuring of your day. All of it works together as your own system, and it evolves, and it's living, and it's breathing. And so there's no no magic formula or somewhat of just how do I have the right tool or a process when it comes to structuring your day. It means that you have to invest in some time to figure it out, the particular rhythm, not balance, but the rhythm of your day and what that looks like. There was a point in time for myself where I said to myself, I had to start getting very real about loading up calls and loading up things where it would be 3 hours worth of back to back to backs. And then I wanted to then do what I called earlier a superpower task, because I had to get it done, and then being tired, right? So then thinking to myself, all right, what makes sense? Because when you start to look at the end of the week and you seeing that you're having to reschedule things and push things back and things are loading up, then you start to say, I think something's off and I'm noticing a pattern. So let's pull back and let's adjust. And when you can begin to recognize those particular patterns, and looking at the way in which you work and looking at your calendar and looking at what's overdue and all of that, you can start to really put pulse checks in maybe every quarter. Because perhaps maybe you're a late night person for a number of months, and then maybe now you're like, now I can't really sustain being a late night worker from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. And so maybe I have to now adjust, and maybe I'm more early afternoon into the evening. Or maybe you are early in the morning. Some people are getting up at 4 and 5 and just powering through. So I say all that to say is that this aspect of the structuring your day has 3 core elements: finding your system and routine, which includes this personal mission statement, your values. How do you think about time? How do you honor time? Number 2, which is the calendar review and eliminating meetings. Not everything is a meeting, but again, that's a culture thing that you just can't, shut off and shut on. So you have to look at that and say, all right, well, for this week or for this day, what could be shorter and what does it need to happen? And then, you can start looking at, why it is. Why do you have this particular meeting? What is the purpose? Who needs to be involved? And it's good to have those periodic pulse checks for that, because that means that people are seeing that. And that means you get to set the tone and culture to value other people's time by saying, hey, maybe we need to take a step back so that we can be able to see why we need to be gathering together. So whether you're hybrid, you're remote, fully remote, start thinking about that in context to the larger work that's being done. And then lastly, when we think about prioritization, you're thinking about task prioritization, what needs to get done, looking at your calendar, looking at your milestones, looking at goals, and everything in between when it comes to the task prioritization. You know this best due to the project schedule, the things that you're working on, watching out for whether your senior leaders or CEOs or whomever may come and may say, hey, this is a priority for the week, which means you have to then take that information and you can then use your own particular critical thinking skills, your wisdom, whatever you want to call it, and even just get a better sense of context of why particular tasks are switching, what the effect of that is to the outcome of the project itself. So being able to then bring up those questions. Well, if we're going to focus on this week, what does that mean for this particular project? What does that actually mean for the actual work that we were going to get done? Has something changed? Being able to have those open conversations helps a lot, because it doesn't stress out yourself and you or your team members, and it keeps everybody on the same page and accountable. So that's why that prioritization is key. And then always asking this question, what is required to actually be able to execute the task and execute it well? So we're talking about assets and resources and time, making sure that all right, do I need a Dropbox link? Do I need photos or pictures or what have you? What is it that I may need? And who do I need? Do I need to collaborate with somebody? How much time will this take? And it all depends on the complexity of the project, the complexity of the task itself. And then you start to see, all right, well, maybe I anticipated, right, that this was going to be something that was easy, but then there might have been a speed bump. So then it's all about how then you are adjusting and working with that other team member on the task itself. Well, we have wrapped up how to structure your day. I hope these pro tips were helpful. Next week, we will talk more about design thinking. We will talk more on time management and some other fun stuff as well. Thank you all so much. Make sure that you share this live stream with 3 people as well. Also too, something, and it's in actually the link. Oh yes, it is actually in the actual description. But now we have a project management coaching and strategy session. So what I want you to do is go ahead and book our connection call so we can talk about your current project, and we can talk about how we can collaborate and partner together so that I can help you to be able to uproot a problem, create a communications plan. Let's talk about risk management. Let's talk about your stakeholders. Let's talk about the people who maybe you're just trying to figure out how you can get them on the same page. We can figure those things out. So project management coaching and strategy sessions now available. So go ahead and look at the link, book your call, DM me with any questions on LinkedIn or Instagram. All the information is below. We thank you all so much, and we will see you next week. Bye.